The second Ararimu 4-wheel drive safari took place in May 2022, hosted by the Manukau 4-wheel drive club. This trip has been organised in conjunction with the Ararimu Residents and Ratepayers Association to raise more funding for the community swimming pool. Ararimu is a beautiful little valley just over the eastern ridge from Ramarama on State Highway 1, about 50 kilometres south of the Auckland CBD, or in my case, just 20 minutes over the ridge from home. The last event in 2016 was centred in the valley and ridges just south of the Ararimu School, before we headed northwest to traverse the high ridgeline above the Stevenson's Quarry at Ramarama and admire the view way north to the distant skyline of Auckland City. This year's event was based a little further south at a farm off Paparata Road, which we used as a base. From here we traversed the valleys and ridges in a series of loops, before again heading northwest after lunch and another loop of private farmland. I managed to drag my daughter's partner Miles kicking and screaming away from his house painting for a day out. On the Bombay Hills at 7:45 AM on Saturday morning, we met up with the shiny new club president of the Auckland Land-Rovers Club, Bruce Gibson, and his son Leon in their Land Rover Discovery. Instead of taking my Land Rover Discovery, I thought it would be fun to take my 1955 Series 1 Land Rover for a run. We arrived a bit early at the meeting point and parked up as convoys of butty-looking 4-wheel drives roared past us, some tooting their horn as they recognised my vehicle.
Keen 4-wheel drivers and passengers here to enjoy the day. It's looking like a perfect day to actually really enjoy the wonderful scenery that Ararimu has to offer, so we're very excited to have you all here. For your information, this event is being put on in conjunction between the Ararimu Residents and Ratepayers Association and the Manukau 4-wheel drive club. The funds raised from this event are going towards the Ararimu community pool, so thank you all very much. It's a great event and all going towards a really good cause. My name is Sam Williams and I'm the chairman of the Ararimu Residents and Ratepayers Association. I've got a few quick thank yous to say first. Firstly, thank you to all the helpers and marshals who are working hard to make this event a success. A very big, yes. A very big thank you to all the sponsors who have supported the event and provided prizes and other support for the event.
Morning everybody. All right, thank you very much for coming out. Hopefully we'll have a very nice day out there. As Sam said, obviously land access is important for an event like this, so I'll reiterate, please do respect the access to the land, so no hooning, no silly behaviour, that sort of thing.
There's to be no attaching of ropes or cables or anything between vehicles without the supervision of one of our marshals. One other person I want to really thank, and I don't think she's here, unfortunately, Natasha Rivai, is she here? Oh, okay. Natasha Rivai is she's a planning manager at Auckland and Northland Property Group. Without her help, this would not have happened, quite literally. So we owe a huge debt of thanks to her and her professional advice. It was really, really important.
The assembly and exit process was well thought out, with 4 marked out rows, so preventing any queuing back onto Paparata Road. The 2 rows of vehicles in the northern side followed Richard Ayres in Scratch Rover, north, straight out across the paddocks, while the 2 southern rows followed Tony Burgess and exited west back up Paparata Road. To complete the track we followed in the afternoon. We descended down into the valley below, skirting a tempting looking swamp area, and ascended the ridge to gain some views over farmland and fenced blocks of pine and native trees. Each vehicle in the convoy took turns to open and close gates, before tagging onto the rear of the convoy again. Following a most enjoyable short detour down the wrong ridge, we were soon back on track to bounce off the top of Stewart Road before descending, then ascending Peach Hill.
You can now see the enjoyment of driving this with the top off it, eh?
Yeah, it's nice,
It's so good, yeah.
Yeah, like the one
Yeah, like a DC3 or something like that.
oh, like a decent zone.
Yeah. And for people up the top of the hill, stuff like that. See the back of the dam. Yeah, Bob. Right along the front and everything, you know, double layered, branded. 50 metres, I think.
Yeah. So might be.
Would be a bit different in the wet, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
It's very low again. It's not bad, eh? Yes, I took it one.
Information for you, Richard. You are on Peach Hill.
Yeah, excellent. That's what I wanted to be.
Good one.
Everybody is coming up on the Peach Hill as we now know it. This is the hill that's got the rock in it, so just be careful along the way as we're going out and coming in.
Got the what on?
Just near it.
You said logs, was it? Or logs?
Okay, we will pause for probably 15-20 minutes at the top edge, so we're going to have a cup of tea or whatever you want to do.
That's good.
And of course we can admire it here.
We stopped on the summit of Peach Hill for a wind-blown cup of coffee to admire the views out east over the Paparata Valley, Auckland's water catchment area, the Hunua Ranges and the Mangatawhi Forest. I have to say, with mixed feelings, we were lucky with the weather. The predicted rain did not materialise, so the steep descent of Peach Hill was handled with ease and grace, as opposed to the usual screaming and yelling coming from all-terrain or highway-tired SUVs sedately slithering sideways off the track. Oh well, missed out on the morning's entertainment, I guess.
Luck, I think, though, yeah.
So basically I can do everything without ever having to change up the hard, you know.
Yeah, which is ideal.
Things off it. So if you had a good impact in front, like a drain or something like that, it just... Because it's American based now. It was based out of Australia. Not last night, night before. Just effortless, eh?
With the door tops off and the canvas rolled up in the Series 1, it was definitely drippy nose weather as we headed north again, descending the valley before reconquering the ridgeline to close our first loop. During the lunch break, the organisers were giving out spot prizes of sponsors' product. I was very fortunate to win a set of truck claws. These are a strap-on single aluminium extrusion grouser plate for getting out the odd slimy, geographically embarrassed moment. I was seriously looking to buying a pair, so thank you very much.
That's why I'm so keen to try out these new Truck Claws traction aids. Let's see if they can get me out of this. The Truck Claws made a real difference, giving me the extra traction I needed to get unstuck. The Truck Claw...
After lunch, we swapped routes, and Tony led us back up the way we had come, to cut across private property to loop out near Ararimu School. We then weaved our way up through private land at the headwaters of the Manukau River, before gaining height back up on the ridges about 240 metres up. I was staggered how many houses cover the valley now. Not that long ago, this valley was just a few large farms, but now the hillsides are dotted with new or relocated houses and kilometres of fresh painted post and rail fencing. The night would be the tell-all, with the dark still of the Hunua Valley replaced with hundreds of houses ablaze with LED illumination.
I just remember the name. And,
5080.
quite crazy to have it on. The heat is just unbelievable from the nose. Yeah. Really efficient. No, I'll take a chance. Oh, you lose your house insurance. And it was a year without the heat.
And they found the big wagon wheel. Like it was 2 meters.
Really?
Yeah.
Wood with a steel rim on it. Yeah. How cool is that?
With the day moving on and the temperature dropping, we headed back to base to relieve some mud tension by having a play in the tempting little swamp that we passed early in the morning. After a few large tired grunters had required recovery, a 52 horsepower Series 1 Land-Rover didn't really stand a chance, so we pumped up the tyres and said our goodbyes. The safari raised over $9,500 for the Ararimu community pool, from entries from 90 vehicles and raffle tickets. A huge thank you to the Manukau 4-Wheel Drive Club for getting in behind the project, and to Natasha Revive from the property group for sorting out the compliance bits.